Real Madrid's always full of drama and players with big egos, but they're absolutely imploding at the moment. There's currently over 40 million signatures for Mbappe to leave Real Madrid. He's the top scorer in La Liga and the Champions League at the moment, and people are just like, nah, mate, we want you out. We need you out, son. Get out! Get out! And if that ain't bad enough, Valverde's been sent to the hospital with a fucking brain injury. And who gave him a brain injury? Tchouaméni, his bloody teammate. It's been an absolute shit show recently at Real Madrid, and we're going to cover it all, but I'm going to start with Mbappe, who's normally quite controversial, but it's sort of just reached another level. So I haven't even really seen too much of what's going on, I've just sort of skimmed it. I'm going to just read like what's going on, and we can just learn about all this shite that's happening. So he was given time off last week, and decided to travel to Where's that? Alright, fair enough. So it was approved by the club, but didn't sit well with supporters. I'm guessing because it's quite an important time of the season, they're trying to win the league. Oh no, they're definitely not going to win the league, to be fair. What games have they got coming up? Oh, well, they got Barcelona. That's obviously a big game, but it don't mean anything. They're not in the Champions League or the league. But yeah, I guess fans just didn't really like that. So there's pictures of him in a yacht around the same time Real Madrid were playing. So Mbappe can do whatever he likes or any other player, however the disconnect has led to organised fan action. So that's what started the online petition. So a petition calling for Mbappe out was spread rapidly across social media. It aimed to collect 200,000 signatures, and at the moment it says 12 million here. I think it's up to like more than 40 million now. Obviously, yeah, like it says, not all of them would be Real Madrid fans, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of them would be like Barca fans, just sort of taking the piss, basically. Alright, so because Real Madrid aren't going to win anything this season, the players are being sort of criticised, and the fact that he's just taken time off just during the season when they've underperformed, I'm guessing that's just sort of rubbed people the wrong way, which, yeah, fair enough, really. Well, I mean, he's one of the only players that's really sort of performed right at the top this season. Like I say, he's the top scorer in the league or in the Champions League, so I don't know, I don't really know how I feel about that. I suppose I would just be like, yeah, mate, you're just taking a piss, and you're just sitting on your yacht while we're just, you know, not having a good season. So he's also been landing in Madrid in a private jet 18 minutes before kick-off. Yeah, mate, he is just a bit of a piss taker, I think, isn't he? He has just always had this bit of an attitude, I think, isn't he? Like at PSG, you know, they never won anything with him, and then he leaves, and they've won a Champions League, and they win another final, and you think, does that have something to do with him? You know what I mean? Was he just making the dressing room a bit toxic? You know what I mean? Like, was it a bit his fault? You know, people are starting to catch on to this as well. Like, obviously, he had problems at PSG, and now he's got big problems with Real Madrid. You know, it says here there's a serious or a real crisis between Mbappe and Real Madrid. The player does not like what he's seeing at the club, and the club does not like what Mbappe is doing. So even the club is really annoyed with him, not just the fans. Look at this as well. He's leaving the train. He's leaving the training ground, just pissing himself with laughter. He's completed part of today's training. Was that planned, or did he just not really feel like it and just fuck off? Do you remember this as well with Luis Enrique? Like when he was telling him how to, you should track back and that Michael Jordan, he was amazing, but he used to, defend his arse off basically. And I just don't think Mbappe really listened to that. Luis Enrique was trying to drill that into him, but I think he's too selfish, to be honest. So I don't think he really cares too much about, you know, doing the dirty work for the team. He just wants to be the main man. People are wondering if Mbappe and Vinicius can play effectively in the same team as well. Yeah, fair enough. I think Mbappe prefers playing on the left, don't he? People are wondering if he's been criticised more harshly than other players. He might be, but then again, like I say, he had problems like this at PSG as well, with people thinking that he's just not a team player. He rubs people the wrong way. And yeah, it's going to be a third trophyless season for Real Madrid. I can't remember the last time that happened, to be honest. And it seems like he's cursed, really. He didn't win a Champions League with PSG. He leaves and they win it. They could win it again. And and then he comes to Real Madrid, and he's obviously been great individually, but it seems like it's sort of come at a cost of the team just doing well and working together. Right, this is where it just gets mental. So Valverde's suffered a traumatic brain injury. He's going to miss El Clasico, obviously. Um, yeah, this is Fabrizio saying this as well, so this is like official. He's at home and he's in good condition. So Valverde's written a statement as well. Yesterday I had an incident with a teammate during a training session. The fatigue from competition and frustration made everything seem blown out of proportion. Clearly someone's spreading rumours. Today we had another disagreement. During the argument I accidentally hit the table. Yeah, sure buddy. Causing a small cut on my forehead that required a routine visit to the hospital. At no point did my teammate hit me. I didn't hit him either. I don't know if I believe this guy, to be honest with you. I think this is just full damage control, you know what I mean? Shame they couldn't do any damage control to his bloody skull. So what I'm getting is there was a lot of frustration because Real Madrid have had a pretty shit season. They got knocked out of the Champions League quarter-finals. They're not going to win the league. They're miles behind Barca. Didn't win the Copa del Rey either. And I think their ego's just got a bit out of control, and they're just a bit of beef started. They start slapping each other, and it went a bit too far. And Valverde obviously got quite a nasty injury from Tchouaméni. I don't believe that he hit his head on a table. I think that's obviously not going to come out saying Tchouaméni just fucking thumped him on the head and just sent him to the hospital. But I doubt he fell and hit his head on the table. That resulted in a brain injury. That doesn't normally... I mean, that can happen, to be fair. But I just doubt it, to be fair. I doubt it's more likely that they got in a fight. Even if he did hit his head on the table, he obviously got punched or pushed or something, He didn't just slip and fall, and there just happened to be an unrelated sort of argument going on as well. So Real Madrid have announced that they've taken disciplinary actions against Valverde and Tchouaméni, so obviously something's gone on. There were probably punches thrown or slaps, considering, these are footballers. So obviously something's gone on. Also, Mendy could be retiring as well. He could be out for up to a year because of an injury, and he's thinking about retiring, so it's just all going to shit, really. Also, little side note, why is Rudiger just slapping a member of staff like this? What the fuck is wrong with these people? I think Real Madrid just attracts the biggest dickheads, to be honest. I've never really liked sort of the club. Obviously, they're an amazing club, legendary, but they just seem to attract absolute dickheads. Parents of 2 Real Madrid players have called Florentino Perez directly to tell them that their children aren't getting enough minutes and should play more. It's just all going wrong, isn't it, really? So I don't know how legit this Madrid Zone Twitter page is, but it's saying that yesterday in training, Tchouaméni gave a hard tackle to Valverde. Valverde didn't like it. Tchouaméni said he didn't do it on purpose. And then he retaliated by tackling Tchouaméni really hard. After training, the two players had a verbal fight, not physical. And then today, at the start of training, today as in yesterday, at the start of training, Valverde didn't shake his hand. And then when training started, he tackled Tchouaméni very hard, lifting him off the floor. Arbeloa tried to solve the problem by putting him on the same team, right? That didn't work, obviously. Why would it? And then after training in the dressing room, they started physically fighting each other. Players had to separate them. Valverde ended up on the floor, head split open, unconscious. So Valverde was fucking unconscious. That is mad. Right, so isn't the first time they've had a bit of beef at training. This was on Wednesday and Thursday this week. Last month, Rudiger was involved in a heated argument with a teammate in the dressing room at Real Madrid's training ground, which he's apologised for. And Mbappe was involved in an angry flare-up with a member of staff at a training exercise. Oh, it's just a mess, isn't it? They're just imploding at the moment. Also, look at this shit housery from Barca. One big family. They're just fair enough, really. I like that. You like a bit of shithousery, don't you? So basically, it's just like a civil war at the moment at Real Madrid, and I'm all for it. I love to see it. That's pretty much all I can find at the moment, but I'm sure more's gonna come out. Right, see ya.